Hi everyone, my name is Samarpit Shrivastava and I welcome you to the Job Magnet Formula. Now before starting this lesson, I have a confession to make. This is the first time that I am recording a course. I already am a content creator. I have created content hundreds of times. I have delivered sessions in front of students hundreds of times. But creating this in format of a course has been driving me nuts. I keep trying to make it perfect and I fuck up every time. Retakes after retakes. Even this lesson, I have tried to record it like a million times and it hasn't ended up well. So I decided to just be my authentic self as a presenter and I will see where it goes. So let's get started. What recruiters actually look for. Here's the big fat myth that recruiters want you to have fancy degrees or really high performing mark sheets. This is a common misconception among college students, graduates, and even their parents. So to resolve this misconception, let's discuss some basics of the economy. We just want to understand what exactly a job is and a business is so that we can understand how the economy works and what are we really paid for. So there are two ways to make money in today's world. One is business and one is job. You are looking for jobs, but you have to think that someone who will give you the salary for the job is running a business. So imagine I want to open and run an IT company, IT and digital marketing company. So what will I need for that? A team, and the team will be working together to run the business. What is a business anyway? It is a bunch of people and a set of rules and regulations working together to generate revenue and earn profits, isn't it? So I go to a college to find out candidates and hire people for my team. So what will I expect from them? What do I really want them to do in my company? Do I need them to memorize answers and write them on mark sheets? Do I need them to be really good at memorizing answers or really good at giving internals vivas? Or do I need them to perform tasks? Because either I have a product company or the company that I mentioned, an IT company, either I am providing services or a product. I need people working on developing those products or providing those services for me, in exchange for which I will provide them salary. Makes sense? And who will give me the money? My clients, my consumers. So for example, I own an IT company. A possible client comes to me, says he wants to get a website and an Android and iOS app developed for his startup idea. So what do I want first? I want a developer that can develop the app for me. The client will pay me some money and I have to ensure that I pay the developer for that. I also pay the UI designer for that. I also pay the business analyst for that. So that's how business works. Clients give business owners the money and business distributes salaries. And after that, whatever is left, it is their profits. So you have to think that if you want to get employed, you must be providing some value to the business owner in terms of your time, in terms of your skills. That's what you will be getting paid for, right? So now let us understand what really employers or recruiters look for. So here's the truth bomb. As I mentioned, recruiters want skills. They want problem solving. They want ownership. They don't want people who can just memorize and write good answers on mark sheet, but they fail to actually implement the lessons in real life, or they have no ability to take responsibility or ownership for the task given, or they have no idea how to, think critically and approach a problem and provide a solution. So this is what employers want from you. What exactly is a skill? I have been mentioning that multiple times throughout the first lesson. So see, you can define skill as just the ability to do anything, to just get something done, to get a task done. Now, if you talk about coding, so then your skill won't be how many languages you know, whether you know Python or Java or Golang or C Sharp. Your skill would be whether you can develop a functioning app from that or not. Now, of course, if you are just a fresher, you will not have the industry knowledge. I'm talking in terms of programming languages, but this applies to all concepts, all streams, whether you are doing MBA or you are doing psychology or you are pursuing BBA, whatever you are doing. The skills that you have learned there, the knowledge that you are gained there, whether you are able to apply that in the real world or not. And real world is really different from what we are taught in college. We are just given the knowledge so that when we go into the real world, we have the basic understanding to perform the tasks. Make sense? So yes, if you are into writing, then it's not about whether how well you have written your research, your dissertation. It's about whether you can do your task of writing reports or researches for the company or not. If you are into sales, that then whether you can interact with the customer or not, whether you have the ability to listen to them, whether you have the ability to provide solutions to their problems, and so on. So it is not about marks, it is about the skill, because that skill will provide the value to the employer and hence will get the money into the company, which will pay your salary. Right? So problem solving is much more important than grades. You can be a average student, even a below average student. But if you have developed skills, then that's what company wants. Why it matters? Because grade measures memory, not real thinking. What really are grades? You just memorize a book, the answers that are given to you, you go into the exam and you jot them down. That's what education system is. But does that guarantee that you have the skills? Does that guarantee that if you are pursuing an MBA and you are going to manage people, then you have the communication skills or the management skills that will be required in a company? No, it doesn't. Then metaphor, like fixing a car, practical skills trump theory. Exactly. So as I mentioned earlier, when you are in a company, the scenario is completely different than when you are in college. So you have to adapt, and it is not expected from freshers to know how the corporate world works. They are just expected to have the basic skills that will be required there. And then most importantly, they are expected to have a growth mindset, a mindset of learning. We will discuss that more in detail when we'll be discussing about interviews, but let's leave it there, just there for now. In jobs, employers want people who solve unexpected challenges. So see, employer has hired you, who is not there to spoon feed you every instruction and telling you every task what you need to do. He has already paid you a salary. Now he expects you to solve whatever problems come in front of you and deliver the solution. Deliver the product or service to the client, to the consumer, for which you are getting paid as an employee as well as a company. So what recruiters are really thinking? Will this person take ownership or make excuses? As I mentioned earlier, the employer is not going to sit there, spoon feed you instructions and tell you everything that you need to do. They have already hired you and now they expect you to take the accountability of doing the tasks and getting the task done. Providing solutions, not problems. How do they judge you? So there is, when we get to know people, there is always a kind of a structure that we follow consciously or subconsciously. Now in professional world, this is the structure. The first point of contact for you is your resume. Now, people fail to put any effort in their resume. They just think that they will just copy from somewhere else, send the resume and they will get a job. How will that work? It is your resume. You want to get the job. So you have to put efforts, describing yourself, letting the other person know what kind of person are you, so that the employer can decide whether I want to hire you or not. Is it making sense? Then second thing, projects. Why are they necessary? Because you can come to me and say that I am really good at developing iOS apps or Android apps, or I am really good at doing research, I am really good at sales. But how do I believe you? You can come to me and lie on my face. What's the proof of that? So your project is the living proof of your skill. When you have done a research on something, that is the proof that you have put in the efforts. When you have already developed an app, it is the proof that you have implemented the skills that you learned into an actual living product. Communication. So this is just visible face to face. When you walk into an interview, the interviewer has taken hundreds, thousands of interviews. So he can just judge you from the way you walk. The moment you enter the room and the way you walk up to the chair and sit and the way you greet, the way you talk, it is all clearly visible to them. And since You will be working as a part of a team and you will be assigned only a particular task, and it will be related to many different tasks, many different people. You need to be able to communicate properly, to work as a part of a team. So they want all this and they judge you for all this. Be ready in their eyes. How you can be ready in their eyes? If you have clarity about yourself, what skills do you have, what weaknesses do you have. Now we will again discuss strengths and weaknesses in the interview module, but you have to have clarity about yourself. Then trainable, that's what I mentioned some time ago, that you don't need to be already an expert in a domain. You just need to have the bare minimum skills that are required, and you need to be trainable on those skills. Now, the better skills you already have, the better package you deserve. All people have learned C, C sharp, or whatever programming languages computer science students learn in their engineering or whatever they are doing, man, their degree. Or all people in MBA or psychology or any stream have the same subjects. But then what differentiates them? The amount of skills they have developed from that knowledge. And that determines what package do they deserve. Even the most, what will you say? Even the most skilled people at a fresher level will not know how the industry works. But they have done their part right of developing the skills and efforts. So see, as I mentioned, your efforts are visible in your skills, in your persona, in your projects. So it is all visible. You just need to understand that how employers are judging you, so that now you can work on yourself. Making sense? Think like a recruiter. So now you need to change roles. I have told you how the companies works, how the industry works, how the economy works. So you have to put yourself in place of an employer and think, will I hire myself? Am I providing sufficient value to get paid and the salary that I am expecting? Or I am just feeling like, you have to ask this yourself, whether you actually provide value to a company, whether you have the skills of providing that value, or you are just feeling entitled for having completed a degree. If you are the latter option, I am sorry, my friend, you do not deserve a job. Having a degree is not the entitlement of getting a job. Nobody owes you giving an employment for just you having completed a degree. You have to provide value. Have to. So now let's work on shifting the identity. You may be up until now a job seeker who have completed a degree or not, done some things, and now just wants a job, just wants someone to give you money. But now you have to shift from that to a problem solver. That you have the knowledge or skills in a particular domain, and from that knowledge or skill set, you can solve some problems, offer insights, think critically and make something out of it, and then become a value creator. So you have the ability to not just think about something, but create something meaningful out of it, to actually provide value. So when you shift from a job seeker to a value creator, you already become a deserving personnel. You will not have to beg for jobs. You will know what value you can create and what do you deserve for that. So that's it for this lesson. In the next lessons, we will work on skills identification. I will get you to identify your own skills, technical and soft. After that, we will get into resume building. After you have identified your own skills, we will learn how to put them into resume. Then after you have built a resume, we will go into how to hunt for jobs, how to look for jobs. And we will learn how to look for jobs on LinkedIn, but the skills you will learn there, you can apply on any job platform. And after that, we will go into the final round of interview preparation. How to prepare for interview, how to present yourself in front of the interviewer. What are the questions that you need to prepare yourself, even in advance. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.